All right, welcome to the Bicycle Rider YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about a road bike that has given me a lot of value for the dollar, especially when trying to search for speed. And this is the Specialized Allez Sprint. It's an aluminum bike. It's a smart weld. Even people ask me sometimes, is that a smart weld? And yeah, it says smart weld right on it. They've come out with some really good technology to make this a very high quality, hydroformed, very roadworthy aluminum frame that competes with a lot of carbon fiber frames that cost, twice or three times or four times, for the same amount of performance. And I'm not knocking carbon fiber frames. I love the Tarmac and I love the Venge and I love carbon fiber frames, but the price points are up there that are kind of hard to grab sometimes. Where I was able to get this Specialized Allez Sprint for around $2,000. It has a lot of really high quality components. And if you want a long-winded video on this, I made one just a little bit ago, and I got so excited about the bike I kind of talked about ride features and whatnot. But I wanted to slow this video down a little bit and talk about the components. If you want a long-winded video, watch the other ones. And thinking about it, if you enjoy the Bicycle Rider YouTube channel, maybe if you could hit subscribe, we'd appreciate it. It helps us rank with YouTube and lets YouTube know that, people are watching our channel. And, lets Gary and I continue doing what we're doing without any cost to you. Just hit the button and everything will work great. So anyway, back to the Allez Sprint. I was going to talk about the components, so I've got to forget about just how well this bike rides and how fast it is and how much success I've had on this bike and how surprising it has been, and talk more about the components. So let's just say with this high quality aluminum frame at a bargain price for what you're going to find a lot of other bikes comparing to, you're getting a Fact S-Works carbon fork, and this is a really high-end fork that they put on this bike. And this is the same fork that they put on a lot of high-end bikes, and Specialized makes some really good stuff, and they make a really good fork, and this fork has really made this bike shine, the way it tracks, the way it rides the road, the way it hits a bump, and when you're in the mix with these guys in the A group and you're going 25, 30 miles an hour and you hit a pothole, you better have a fork that'll hold up, and this fork has hit a lot of potholes. I'm kind of short, so I get behind these guys, I can't see them around them, and the fork has never faltered, and it has always tracked well. One thing you'll see, you've got some really nice shifters. This is a Shimano Ultegra, and if you just look at a Shimano Ultegra group, it's quite a pricey grupo, and for good reason, because this stuff works. It's light, it works, it feels good, it's ergonomic, and it's super fast. Shimano Ultegra on the front. We've got Shimano Ultegra rear derailleur. It's an 11-speed rear derailleur, and this derailleur has gone 5,000 miles under some really hard shifting, and it has never missed a beat. I love the way the Ultegra works. I'm still on the original drivetrain, so I've got the 11-speed rear cog. I've got this original chain. The bike has a few upgrades, and that's just because of the price point of the bike. I was able to afford a few upgrades, and I did upgrade the rims to a Ritchie Zeta 2 rim. I don't want to go into details with those, but they're a great rim. But the rim that came on this bike, the Axis rim, was a great rim. I just had an opportunity to upgrade, so I did. Another thing that comes on this bike is a really nice taupe seat post or seat. The seat's been very comfortable. 5,000 miles, and I mean the seat still looks brand new. And I ride this bike in the rain. I ride it in the sand. I've done some dirt roads on this bike, so I have not taken it easy on this bike. And this seat has been comfortable and has lasted, for all those miles. It's got a really nicely shaped aerodynamic S-Works seat post. And I feel the difference with an aerodynamic seat post. I mean, sometimes when I'm in the mix and we're hammering and we're going fast, it gives me confidence to know that, my seat post is aerodynamic. And that might sound silly, but, try and you might believe in it, because this whole bike is very aerodynamic. The way they've engineered these hydroform tubes. They have made this bike, Specialized has a wind tunnel, and they use it, and they put that technology into their bikes. So we've got a great frame. We've got the it's a Xantech fork or Xantech cranks, and these cranks are super stiff. They're a Paris Works crank, and they wouldn't put this stiff crank on a bike that's made to have a stiff bottom bracket if these cranks weren't nice. So I've had a few people ask me how I like these cranks, and I say I have no complaints. I mean, when I put the power down on these cranks, it goes. And it might be price point. People maybe are used to spending a lot of money on a crank set, but I mean, if you can get a crank set like Paris Works is built here at a good price that really perform well, I have to say these cranks perform extremely well. I have put on a oval chain ring on the front, and my other video goes into detail about that. So that the oval chain ring is an upgrade. On the Sprint, there's a couple different models. I opted for the model with the front derailleur because I am using this as my primary road bike, and there's times when I might need some climbing. I primarily run in the big ring, but it's nice to be able to have that small ring if needed. Another thing I want to talk about this bike are the brakes. And it does come with a mix of components. Like I said, we had Ultegra, but we also have Shimano 105. And 105 has been the workhorse of Shimano for years. And, I've done a lot of racing, and, 105 is, basically if it has 105, I'm confident with it. So if you think you have to buy this bike and upgrade these brakes, believe me, I've jammed on these brakes, in the mix. And these brakes work perfectly fine. They do make a disc brake model of this bike. It was sold out when I was looking at it, so I got the rim brakes, and the rim brakes are fantastic. They work really good. So everything on this bike for the money is on par, if not above par. And this bike has let me get in the mix with these guys, with the A group guys, and not be scared to be right there next to them the way this bike is so agile. So, for about the $2,000 mark, we're golden. Anything you want to ask about the Specialized Allez Sprint, just hit me up. I'm very familiar with this bike, and I highly recommend it, especially if you want something fast on a budget and with a name brand that is going to be there to back you up. So we'll stop this here now. From the Bicycle Rider, if you want more on this bike, watch the other video. Thank you.